Hello, everyone. Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today it is another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. Today it is episode 100, and I am sitting with Dance with the Dead. How you doing, Tony? How you doing, Justin?
We're chilling.
Very well. Yeah.
So great to see you guys. I'm so glad we get to sit down and have this conversation today. So how are things in your guys' neck of the woods? What's going on with you guys?
What's up with you, Justin?
It's pretty much the same as just about everyone this year. I've just been kind of hanging at home. I haven't actually seen too many people other than close friends and family since like March. That's probably to say for anyone, really. It's been an interesting year with the fires and the pandemic and all the politics, and yeah.
I haven't seen you since we landed in LAX on March 1st.
Yeah.
Then the world went to shit.
Yeah, so we're coming up on a year or so. I haven't even been in California.
We came back from a banging tour, and then the world just shut down.
Yep.
Look what we did.
I know you guys shut the world down. Look at what you guys did. You guys summoned something from the bottom, from the pits of hell, I think you guys did. You guys brought it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those sick shreds and those sick riffs. I think you guys summoned something from the darkness, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But it's so good to see you guys. And yeah, you're right. It's been so crazy with everything happening, like from everything from the pandemic to the fires to just everything all in a nutshell for the past 8 to 9 months. It's been so crazy. Our daily lives have changed so much. But hey, I think for a lot of creative people like you guys out there, you guys have been staying busy through all of this. Am I right?
Yeah, extremely busy.
Yeah.
And that's so great to hear. I'm so glad that you guys are working really hard on all of your stuff. I've been seeing all of your constant updates on your social media on all the cool stuff that you guys are working on. And I'm so glad to see that, because I think for a lot of creative people out there, this is our time to work as hard as we can and share and help spread a little joy and a little bit of hope for people out there, through creative means.
Yeah. Thank God, once this all happened, we were focusing on writing a new record anyways when we got back from our last past European tour. But thank God not thank God, but once this happened, we were like, crap, like all our tours got canceled. Like, what do we do? Because we were just kind of like getting pumped, just to go out on the road with what was it, Magic Sword, and a couple others that we shouldn't say, but big tours that we couldn't, that were supposed to happen this year. And so we were just kind of, riding on the side, but just kind of getting ready to get back on the road for the, the whole year. And then that happened, or the pandemic happened. So we're like, crap, what do we do now? So thank God we got some remix stuff we got to do, and with the Dead Daisies, and we're doing some stuff with Magic Sword. I don't know when they're going to release it, and just writing on the side. But like I was telling you earlier, it's just job or not, work or not, it's so hard to, get in the zone when literally you look out the window and you're like, sky's orange.
Yeah.
You can't go outside. You can't see your friends. You can't see your family. Can't see your bandmate. Can't do anything,
That's true. It is hard.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a bum out because when everything kind of got canceled, we were actually in the middle of a world tour. We just completed like the European portion of it. And then it was the US and Canada, North America, if you will, that got canceled right before we were supposed to go out for that. Like, I think we had to officially announce the cancellation of the tour like 1 week before the first show. So that was kind of hard. And then, right now, or at least this November or December, we were going to be on, I can't say what it was because I think they might still be working on it as far as like postponing it, but it was definitely one of the biggest tours we had ever been booked for. Yeah. And I was definitely looking forward to it. And that was a pretty big blow too. But the entire entertainment industry is, just flipped upside down, and it goes way beyond the bands. It goes to the, the crews and everyone in the whole industry is just kind of at a loss right now.
Like the proverbial rug, if you will, was just pulled right out from everybody, right out from under everybody. It fell flat on the face, like, what are we going to do now? Like, everything's changed so much. But, I think in the past, 8 to 9 months, we've really kind of, I think, have adapted in a way, because now you see a lot of artists like going online, doing live streams, DJs going on and, and doing online clubs and stuff like that, and trying to really kind of keep people, dancing and really kind of keeping their spirits up. So I think, for a lot of people, like I think for everybody out there, I think that there's been this kind of shift, and people still want those live events. People still really want them. They're so hungry for them, and they're chomping at the bit for them. But I think it's just going to be just a little bit more before we can get back to that 100%. But it's right around the corner. To everybody out there, it's right around the corner, and you guys should never give up hope on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've heard from our team, even next year is pretty much shot. It's not happening. Maybe in different parts of the world, it might be opened, but for the most part, like even touring for next year is pretty much not happening. Not just, for us, but just people that do this for a living in general. It's just like, I can't believe like how long this is taking to recover. And
yeah, I think,
scary.
what was it, the last time this happened in human history? It was like 1917, 1918. It took 2 years, for everybody to get back to a semblance of normalcy. And but hey, I also, I think it's great that like we have progressed so much since that time, and that things have become a lot faster, like information's become a lot faster, so people have been able to kind of adapt a little bit better. I mean, yes, still, it's like, it still sucks because, that mental state of people, with everything being shut down, it's hard because you have a lot of people feeling the weight of the world, the depression, and with all that energy, or all that, I guess you could say, all that information you're constantly absorbing 24/7. It's like, it's hard to kind of, you're right, like you said earlier, get motivated to do things. But I think if you kind of get back to yourself, look inwardly, and kind of reflect and kind of realize, hey, I got this hope in there. I just need to kind of find a way to get it out, try to be as creative as I can. I think that we can really accomplish some really great things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
So today we're going to ask you guys a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. You guys ready to get into it?
So ready.
Let's do it.
All right. What are 3 of your most memorable moments from a musical career together?
So first one would be for me. First one would be, I think, probably dating back to like 2015. I think it might have been our 3rd show as a band. The first 2 shows we played,
That was
they were in LA, probably in front of friends and maybe a few strangers that just happened to come in to grab a drink. And the 3rd show, we flew out to Russia and played Moscow and St. Petersburg, and couldn't believe what we just did. Like, from coming from LA, playing our hometown shows in front of maybe 25 people, flying across the country, not knowing we had no idea what we're doing. And then we get to another country, and there's hundreds of kids just like ready to like just go crazy. And we were like, whoa, what just happened? We just played in LA in front of like 10 people. So that's one. That was just like an amazing experience of like, whoa, maybe we're onto something. What do you got, Justin? I got to think about one.
I'd say officially it was Halloween on 2013, the day we put out our first record. Because we had both been in different bands and stuff like that growing up, but it was the first time that I had ever actually released a record, like an official record, out in the world. So that was a pretty proud moment for me.
I would say the second good one would be, I want to say when we went out with Avatar. I think that was like our first real big boy tour, like direct supporting like a larger act, and sharing the stage with like Devin Townsend, and we just learned really what touring's all about, like working with professionals, working with the band, with a crew of like 15 people. We're like, okay, this is what it's like, the real deal. So I think that was like our first lesson of like, yeah, we've done headlining tours, smaller tours in our own little community, but like hopping on a big tour like that, we were like, okay, we're gonna really learn our lesson here. If we could survive this crowd, how to manage, with other people, other crew. And that was a big, I think, learning lesson for us as a band. What else you got, Justin? Let's get that close up of that beard, dude. Jesus.
Here, wait. I don't know if you can see it, but the tips of my fingers is where my beard ends.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Scott Ian's got nothing on you right now.
Yeah, got it going on.
What's the third one, Justin? What do we got? What's the third good memory?
A third good memory as far as our career is concerned.
Or just favorite memorable moment for you?
I don't know. It's probably not a particular moment, but just like that moment we got like a manager and a booking agent and started actually consistently being able to tour and stuff like that. That moment we kind of both realized that this is actually a career. I don't know if it was a particular moment in time, but just in general, that's something that I'm pretty happy about.
I think for me, the last one would be our last tour this past February, because that was our first tour with the live drummer, with their boy John, who we miss dearly. And my God, you haven't even been. I don't think anyone's ever even seen real like actual footages, except if they were at the show in Europe, because whatever clips we posted, that's all people saw. But man, hearing a kid in the back just banging on the drums and feeling that dynamic on stage, wow, we should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was, I think, my third favorite of just like, it feels like a freaking band right now. We feel like a freaking band.
And those are some really amazing moments right there, guys. I mean, you're right. Like, I have not had a chance to see you guys to the live drummer yet, but I could only imagine like how awesome it sounds live. You know, I remember like speaking to a couple of my friends about that. You know, like I remember they were mentioning to me one time, like, man, dude, Dance Dead is so rad. It would be so awesome if they had a live drummer. And I was like, well, maybe one day we'll see that happen. And boom, there you go. You know what I mean? You guys, you know, that's the thing. I remember the last time I saw you guys, it was when you guys were playing at the observatory with Dragon Force, when you guys were playing at the observatory with Dragon Force. And I gotta say, like, that show here back, you know, in the hometown, back in Southern California, blew me away. I mean, you guys have came so far with your guys' music. I mean, it's just amazing. Like when I first heard, like back in the day when I first heard Out of Body, I was completely blown away. And you guys really just kind of, you guys blew my mind. And you guys still continue to blow my mind.
Dude, thank you.
And also too, you know, like talking about touring, it's like you guys being, you know, like finally getting into that mode where you kind of going, okay, we're going to do this. We're gonna take this serious, you know, we're gonna take this as far as it can go. We're gonna push it as far as it can, and we're gonna do this the right way. You know, you guys start touring, you do your world tours. You know, like you're going over to Russia, you're playing in Europe. You know what I mean? You're playing here in the United States, and people are absolutely eating you guys up. Like they absolutely love you. And I think, you know, that right there is kind of like you kind of reflect back on those moments, and you kind of go like, we have gone the distance. Like we know that we can do this, and we want to keep doing this for the rest of our lives, like for as long as we can, you know, into the future. And I think that's freaking amazing, because I'll tell you what, you know, it's like touring now, I'm sure for you guys can agree with this. Touring now is so much different than touring back when you're in your 20s, because touring back in your 20s, I'm sure, you know, it's like, it's a whole different world. You're kind of trying to figure everything out. And as you progress into your, you know, a little bit older, you know, you're kind of going like, it takes a lot more to make these tours happen. It's so many moving parts in everything that you guys do. I'm sure you guys experience that firsthand every time, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you only saw what our green room looks like before we go on stage, we're not partying.
Bunch of dudes, like sitting around like snoring. Yeah,
I've probably have a lot of video footages of Justin just passed out on the couch. But thank God for our amazing crew. Our Chris, our tour manager, Tolly, our front of the house dude. Everyone just that works their ass off. So him and I and John could just chill in the green room before we have to go play and just kind of gather our mental thoughts and relax if we have to. But yeah, I mean, you know, when you play 6-7 days back to back and you're in a different country, you're out of your comfort zone, you're tired, you're on a different time zone. It's tough, you know. Everyone thinks like, you know, there's just bottles of Jack Daniels flying around and everyone's smacked out and, you know, we're all just partying, but it's hard, man. But that's what we, you know, we're dedicated to do. We committed to do this. We put everything we have into building this band. You know, much as we're tired and we could be groggy and whatever, once we step our foot, once we get on that stage, it's just like nothing matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I mean, like you guys are sleeping, chilling out in the green room, sleeping on the couch, you know, like like in your own little zone. They come in and they hit you with the air horn. Okay, time to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And you guys are on it, on it. Go out there, perform your show, do the most amazing thing that you can do up there live, and then on to the next city, on to the next town. And it's like I think for artists out there, like to everybody who's watching, if you're an artist out there, you know the tour life. You know what I mean? My hat's off to you guys. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to, you know, tour and do little tours here and there, but being able to experience the road for, you know, months at a time, that takes a whole other mindset. It really does. And hats off to you guys for going through that, because you bring a lot of joy to a lot of people out there.
Oh, yeah, I love touring.
Thank you.
Traveling the world, yeah. That's another reason this year has been hard. I'm just kind of like sitting around. It's like, oh man, I don't know what to do with myself half the time.
Dude, you remember when we were in Poland, this last tour? I remember you like made like a little like computer station for yourself in the corner. I think you just kind of wanted to do your own thing. You had your headphones, you're listening to music, kind of minding your own business. And I think you did that the entire day after sound check. Like you didn't speak to anyone. And everyone's kind of like, oh, what's up with Justin? He's probably just, you know, burnt out today. And it was like 20 minutes before walking on stage. You took like 3 shots, dude, and you just became like a Congo like monster, just like ready to go kill people. Like, let's do this. Remember that?
I do remember that actually, yeah.
We were like running around the green room, like just going crazy. I was like,
I think I was scaring our drummer John. He didn't know what was happening.
So you just came right out of your shell. You know, like sometimes you have to have that time where it's like just you time, that you time, just reserved for yourself. And then when it's time to go beast mode, just give you 3 shots and you're ready to go.
For yeah, beast mode for sure.
Dude, you didn't say a word for like 4 hours. And then all of a sudden you're just like doing like cartwheels. I was like, Jesus. It was hilarious.
The thing is usually touring, like it all blends together, like, you know, cities and countries and places. But as soon as he started talking about the story, it actually clicked. I'm like, I remember that was in Poland. That was a strange night.
See, it's like you can recall it like that. See, and that's, you know, it's about moments. It's moments in time. You know, those moments in time that you cherish. And it's like, yes, sometimes, you know, you're right. Like things do blur, but then like once you find those moments, it's like recall it. Boom, boom, boom. Hats off to you guys.
Thanks, man.
What would you say is your guys' favorite musical release that you've worked on?
Me personally, it's a two-part answer, I guess. I think The Shape is one of the records that I'm most proud of. I think me and Justin truly found, you know, what our sound is with that record. But I think musicianship wise, I think Love to Death was where we really just challenged ourselves, not only with, you know, the instruments, but with production, just really trying to be different, creative, trying different things. Let alone we had, you know, our homeboy Nick Hippa on a couple songs doing amazing solos, and our friend Elliot Sloan, who's a professional skateboarder for Birdhouse. And it was just, it felt like a record where we're like, wow, we actually have like respectable musicians on our record, like making cameos. And I felt like it was kind of like the first record where we were like, hey, maybe other people out there that are, you know, shredders dig our music too.
I'd pretty much agree with everything Tony just said. But as far as like a favorite release of ours, I'd probably say The Shape. But you know, anytime you make a record and stuff like that, it's almost like a photograph. It's like a snapshot in time. You think like where you were in life, like where you were living, your friendships and relationships you had with people during the time you were writing that. And that particular record takes me back to a good time. And I remember just that was just a really fun record to write. So
I think we fairly wrote it pretty, like, I think everything came together.
We wrote that whole record in probably like 2 weeks. We just kind of just sat and just kept writing and riffs, and yeah, it was a really fast record that came out.
Yeah.
And I gotta say right there, Love to Death and The Shape, those 2 albums, freaking amazing. You guys really and that's the thing about you guys' music, is that you really have this attention to detail that you guys put into your stuff. Like, I mean, yes, you guys are able to really shred and really lay into your guys' music, right? But you have this interesting complexity, and you guys feed off each other's energy. Like, you could really tell in your guys' writing that, like, you have that real, like, keen eye for detail in what you guys do, because every song that you guys come out with, it's like, it's a blast to the chest, but it's also very precise in what you guys are doing. You're really triggering a lot of emotions in your guys' music, and I think is really great. Hats off to you guys for really kind of hitting it home with your guys' releases. I mean, there are some solid stuff, some of the most solid stuff that I've ever heard in my life.
No, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people I know, they're huge fans of your guys' music. They absolutely love you guys. And anytime I get in a conversation about Dance with the Dead, about talking about you guys, it's like everybody has always said, man, they're one of my favorite acts of all time, because these guys really bring it every time. And that's what I love to hear. I love to hear that, people are really responding and really kind of, just rally together around your guys' sound, because it is so good, and it's so, like, to me it's like perfection, you know what I mean? But, like, hey, an artist's work is never perfection, because you're constantly tearing it down and building it up and putting things, together. But I see in your guys' writing, it's like you guys have progressed so much and grown so much over the time that you guys have been together, that I'm super excited to see where you guys are going next.
This next record, I mean, we've been sending each other demos, and I don't know, man, this one might be it. That's all I can say. I mean, this one, these are demos, and already him and I are just like, holy crap. Like, okay, like, can we even top this, even if we tried? Like,
Well, I'm sure it's some freaking, I'm sure it's freaking amazing. I mean, is there going to be a song in there about Justin's beard? Can there be a song in there about that?
Sure. I mean, we don't have a lyric.
Geez, look at that thing. I mean, like, you could put things in there.
Oh, believe me, I have okay.
You should use it as like your own, like, little pit holder on tour.
And this is a true story. I'm not trying to be funny. So I love, like, almonds and peanuts and stuff like that. And one day I was sitting at my, like, computer station, just, like, working and stuff, and I heard this, like, thing drop on the table, and it was a cashew. And I was like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? And then I was, like, thinking about it. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't had nuts since yesterday.
So it's just been chilling in your beard?
So
Slept over?
I had a freaking cashew in my beard.
You having cashew sleepovers?
Yeah. Like, it's pretty.
I mean, you could whip people with that, dude.
Yeah, it's getting pretty gnarly.
You could do guitar slides with that thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You could braid and do a guitar slide with it. You know what I mean? It's great. I love it.
No, I'm kind of going for the ZZ Top thing. I'm just going to see how long I can let it ride.
That's cool. I mean, you guys are going to have to release a single soon called The Beard.
The
you know
beard.
what I mean? And it's got its own like life of its own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Idle Hands, like Idle Hands, but your beard has a life of its own, it's going out and doing bad things in the middle of the night. I like that.
Yeah. I dig it. I back it.
What was the drive behind getting you guys into making music and performing together?
Well, I've known Tony for
A really long time.
probably like 23 years or something like that.
Yeah, I was 13 when I met you. I'm 38 right now.
So,
I was fucking 13 when I met you.
okay, so about 25 years. Shit. Wow.
You were what? You're 3 years older than me, so you're like a senior, or you already graduated, or you're in college. I don't know. I was a freshman. So yeah, I was a freshman. So 13 or 14. You must have been like 17, right?
Give or take. But Tony and I were never in a band together back in the day. We were always in like different punk bands and metal bands and stuff like that, just around our scene, if you will. I honestly don't. People always ask us like, "Oh, how did you start Dance with the Dead?" And I don't really remember.
No, I remember because I kind of got into like learning how to like record music, and I think the first thing I was using was Reason. And then I was sending you like, hey, like how do you, because you were already kind of doing like electronic stuff, and I was like, dude, like, I remember you're like, oh, dog, you got to get like Logic, like you got to get the real stuff. So you never like, I was sending you a bunch of demos, and we're like, dude, like you're like digging all the stuff I was sending you, and I was taking the stuff you were sending me. So we made like this long list of tracks that we liked, and then one of the songs I sent you was called Dance with the Dead. And then you're like, we should start a band. We should call it Dance with the Dead. Scratch that song. The song sucks. And
Which never became a song, by the way. It was just
yeah, and then slowly from stuff you've had over the years and stuff I've had, slowly it just kind of started going into the out of body, direction, like 2012, I want to say. So yeah, I mean,
here's some fun trivia. The first song we actually ever wrote together didn't end up till Love to Death. It was Salem. But that technically, I mean, it was a little different when we wrote it, but that was the first song I think we ever really did together. I don't know how it took 7 records to finally get released, but
so yeah, so we pretty much, I would go to his house to learn how to use Logic. I'll go to his house, and back then I think we were rocking Bacardi and Diet Coke. That was our jam. So we'll get a bottle, and then I'll bring my laptop. He gave me a copy of Logic, and I'll just kind of learn what he was doing, because I was using a complete different DAW at the time. So I was like, I want to learn Logic. So he was showing me some stuff, and then he'd go to work. I would sleep over without even asking, and just literally fire up his computer and just start writing music on it. And I think Get Out was one of them. I was learning how to use slate drums, and I just wrote like this metal song, and you kept the session for like, I don't know how long. And then when we did B-sides, you're like, dude, we should use Get Out. But yeah, I mean, pretty much we just had all these songs that we wrote, together and separately, and combined them all. And then I think Out of Body was born, pretty much.
I do remember around that time, the 2 groups that really influenced me, and still to this day actually, was a group called Power Glove. Not like the metal band that does I think there's 2 Power Gloves. There's one that like does metal video game covers, and then there's another one that has like, they sound kind of retro and 80s and stuff. Is them.
You know which Power Glove you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you never know. And Laserhawk, those 2 records, those early records really influenced me.
Yeah, I'd say the same. Like, there weren't a lot of acts out there at the time. It was like, pretty much Kavinsky was like the big dog. Yeah, and then there was Pert's been around. There's Pert, Brute, Laserhawk, Mitch Murder, maybe like a few others.
Well, you got like, Future Cop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that's one of the things for me. It was like Future Cop, you know what I mean? And Laserhawk, right there. But yeah, I totally get what you guys are coming from with those.
But we also love like Daft Punk, regardless. We love Daft Punk. We loved old, hair metal. So I think that one of the first songs that really kind of put that sound on our map was Thrasher, because that just sounded like a total like 80s cop chase scene, I mean, I listen to it now, I'm like, Jesus, this is
personally, I absolutely love Thrasher. Thrasher is one of my favorite songs that you guys have done. And I remember when I first heard Thrasher, I thought to myself, oh my God, I would, because I was back in the, God, dare I say, 7 years ago, I was like going like, oh, hey, I was watching all these videos on YouTube with, all these artists were like doing, synthwave and darker synth stuff, and they were putting like old videos to it and everything like that. And I heard you guys' song Thrasher, and I was like, oh, hey, wouldn't it be really cool to like put like, like George A. Romero movies to this, and I put it all together, and I messaged you guys, and I said, hey, I put this video together. Hey, would you guys like to see it? And I threw it at you guys, and I thought to myself, because every time I listen to it, I go, wow, this sounds like it could be in Day of the Dead or like Dawn of the Dead right here. And it was all over from there. You guys took me hostage. I'm telling you.
Thrasher, man, wow. But yeah, to answer your question that we've dragged out for so long, yeah, we've known each other.
What question?
We've known each other since we were, in our early teens, and remained friends ever since. Obviously, to where we are now. So, yeah, I mean, I've pretty much known you longer than I want to say most people I'm friends with now. So yeah, we pretty much got back to we started hanging out, making beats, and we felt like we were both on the same page of what we wanted to do, and wrote Out of Body, released it, didn't think anything of it. We're just like, whatever, it's for fun. And here we are now. So,
and right there, like, that's such a great story. I mean, for you guys, like what you're saying, like going, like hanging out together, learning together, learning, navigating the world of electronic music, if you will. It's not an easy landscape, believe me, because you have a lot of people, whenever they think of like electronic music stuff, they kind of go like, oh, that seems too much for me. Like, what the hell is a DAW? Like, how do I even start to make any of this, work? And I mean, it's great that you guys kind of grew together, you know what I mean? And you guys have stayed friends and colleagues for this amount of time, for as long as you guys have been. I mean, that's great. I know for myself, it's like years ago, I remember I was telling you, I was in a metal band, like a dark, creepy metal band, you know what I mean? And I was like kind of going like, I want to try my hand at electronic music. So my dad was like, hey, you want to go to Guitar Center? We'll take a look. And I got Acid Pro was my first copy of an electronic music program.
I remember Acid Pro.
Acid Pro, right? And I've used that on so much stuff.
Yeah, you're going way back.
You play with the loops and Fruity Loops. You play with the loops and stuff like that. And you put your music together and everything like that. You get the crack cases, try to get the free programs, things like that. And then you start to progress in your music stuff. You start to get newer programs, start to work with more instruments. And I'm sure you guys are like using something that what are you guys using now?
We've been using Logic since day one.
Oh.
I've always used just Logic. I don't even know any other programs.
I was sticking with Logic. That's rad. And it's great. I mean, guys, it's like you find what works and you continue using it. And I think that's great. And I think for a lot of, artists out there, it's like, a lot of people kind of progress and grab different programs and things like that to try to, get whatever sounds they need to, you know what I mean? But I think on all actuality, you have to just go with your gut and what you feel is right. Like what program works for you. And I remember back in the day, it's like I would go dumpster diving for old keyboards to try to find sounds, you know what I mean? Before I got an electronic music program. But it's great to see that's it's worked with you guys, and I'm great to see you guys are still friends, good friends and colleagues till this day. That's great.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see Tony like by 2023.
Oh, man, we won't even see each other when the album comes out. Watch, the new album comes out. I haven't seen you in 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it'll be to my waist.
Well, hey, you guys got connected on Zoom tonight, so maybe you guys can do like weekly meetings, like have your little weekly meetings, have some tea, you know what I mean? Get together, play some board games, stuff like that. Good for you guys.
That would be odd.
You're like sipping. Hello, Justin. Hello, Tony. What are you both looking to accomplish the most moving forward?
I think we want to obviously get back on the road. And put out this record. We are taking our sweet time because we're just gonna make sure everything about it is absolutely perfect. Everywhere, anything, starting from the artwork to just every detail of the song, we're just making sure like it's just perfect. So roughly, I want to say we usually put out a record about every year, but this time
2 years.
We're not even putting like if it's not finished this year, then it takes another year. Like we just told ourselves we're gonna just make it right rather than having a deadline. You know, so that's our main goal, is finishing up this record, hopefully getting back to touring and, you know, being able to see our crew and our fans. And I think when we are able to tour again, or when concerts are open again, I think people are going to go absolutely crazy. And I think it's going to be better than ever, because I think people are going to realize what they've lost for an entire year or more. You know, that feeling of like, you don't really know until you lose something, that feeling. So like all of us suffered, you know, no live concerts or any entertainment, you know. So I think when it does open back up, I think people are just going to really show the love. And I think it's going to bring people together, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, if there's one thing I miss more than playing shows, it's going to shows. There's a lot of bands I still just can't wait to see.
And I totally agree with that, guys. You know, it's like right there, some, you know, solid goals right there. Getting back to playing shows, releasing that album. I can't wait to hear it. I know it's going to be freaking amazing. Chomping at the bit. A lot of people want to hear this new music from you guys, and when it drops, it's going to be freaking rad. But yeah, I totally get you. Like, you know, it's like one thing that sucks just as much as not being able to play shows is being able to go to shows. And yeah, there's a lot of artists out there that are, you feel the same way as you guys. And you're totally right, Tony. Like being able to get back out there, I'm sure, like once this all returns, everybody's going to go nuts. Everybody's going to go crazy. There's going to be lines down the block for every show, because people are going to want to get out and see these artists again, see these artists that they love and that they admire. And I know I'll be one of those guys being first in line to see you guys perform again at a live show, because I know it's going to be freaking amazing. And, you know, for myself and a lot of these other people included, it's like, it sucks, because you're right. Like the live shows and being able to do DJ stuff, it's gone out the window. But I'm right there with you guys. I know what it's going to be like when it gets back, and it's going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, hope so. Can't wait.
Yeah, because it's not just the performance part for us. It's also, it's, you know, being around your friends, your crew, meeting fans. Or for the fans, it's going out, it's socializing, it's being around other people, it's grabbing a drink, you know. So it's a bunch of things. It's not just sing a show. There's so much more to it, you know. It's going out to do something. It's an event. So I think, I mean, we'll see. I mean, if there are concerts next year, I don't think it'll be until like next fall, maybe. We'll see. But I think when it does open back up, I think it's really going to bring everyone together, and I think it's going to be freaking awesome.
You're definitely right. I know, it's like I'm looking back through my phone, my camera rolls and stuff like that, and I'm seeing, you know, old performance stuff, and I'm seeing like, you know, videos of you guys that I have, you know, even that when you guys performed for Nightwave at the Echoplex when we did that show, I gotta say, I was going back through there and I posted on my stories, and all of a sudden I got these messages from people going, "Oh my God, I cannot wait till this is back. I cannot wait till I can see these guys live again," because in that video, you guys were given everything. You guys were so fierce in that performance, and the crowd, the entire freaking club, all the Echoplex, the entire floor was rumbling. Everybody was going crazy. The mosh pit was going off, and that was the thing that everybody missed the most, is that feeling of being free, living in the moment. And I know when we get back to that, it is going to be freaking epic.
But yeah, I think until then, all we can do is virtually hang out, I guess, and just look at that gnarly beard of Justin. Jesus, your beard could get his own sponsorship, dude. Like,
Yeah.
You gotta show that beard again, Justin. Where's that beard there?
That's how long I haven't seen this dude. Like, it was not that long.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah, it's getting down there.
How many inches do you think it grew since our last tour?
There. It's weird, to be honest, that it got so long, but I kind of just forget it. Now it wakes me up in the middle of the night, because I'll be like sleeping and then it'll like snag and it'll like wake me up. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I love it. Tony's gonna be like down his back next time I see him.
Hey, you better be careful, because hey, if that beard gets any longer, it can you can probably make your own OnlyFans for that beard. You know what I mean? Make some money. You know what I mean? Get some money going. You know, people want to see the beard shots. You know, it's great. What positive message would you give your fans out there?
I would say, I mean, you know, the thing about everything that's going on we're all in it. We're all in it together. It's not just it happened to like a certain, region of the country. Like it's a world pandemic. We're all going through the same thing. So we're all on the same boat. You know what I mean? So I think for the people that are, I guess having a negative outlook or approach to it, dude, we're all in this together. Whatever you're going through, I'm going through it. You're going through it. She's going through it. He's going through it, So the sooner I think we just kind of just listen and do our part, I'll leave it at that without getting too deep into it. If we do our part and just listen, I think we can get back on our feet like a lot sooner, but it's just a matter of like, people, just do your part. That's all it takes. Just do your part. And the more concerts could open up, we could all go out and have fun. But I think the hope is just, do your parts, listen. And I think the more people that catch on and do that, I think we have a better shot at the economy opening back up.
Everyone's mental health and patience was probably kind of pushed a little this year, but hang in there. We're gonna get through it.
We're all in it together. We're all going through it. So I think if anything, it's the best time for people to get creative if they can. I know sometimes it's like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes it's hard because you got that little dark, rainy cloud over you. But whether it's picking up a book, if you normally don't read, pick up a book and read. Pick up reading or draw. Start a passion project that you've been wanting to do. That's been on your list that you keep putting off because whatever. So I know me and Justin. I know we've been cleaning a hell out, right?
Yeah.
I remember I called you a couple of days ago. I could literally hear you spraying your counter and like wiping it. I could hear it.
I was. And dude, it got so bad for me. I alphabetized my DVDs and Blu-rays.
Dude, I did the same thing.
I alphabetized them.
I freaking clean like a madman. I'm just like, if I see a little dot on my hardwood floor, I'm like, what is that? No. But I mean, for the people that aren't, musicians or whatever, I think, like I've been trying to like be more active outside, like go on walks or go on a hike or something, even though I keep blowing it off. But that's my next thing is like, I want to go on more walks and at least, get some air if I can, because I mean, if you're just stuck in a house staring at your computer writing music, that's cool and all, but after a week, dude, you go crazy.
I've tried to pick up new hobbies. I started painting. My paintings look like absolute crap, but it's still fun to do, shit like that. Or stuff, I'd tweet stuff like that. Bleep.
Hey, can we curse?
Yeah.
Well, shit. Let's
we redo the whole interview.
We can fucking curse the whole fucking time. I'm just kidding.
But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of hope out there. It's just if the people choose not to look on the bright side, then it's like, what can you do?
Wise words, everybody, from Tony and Justin right here. With everything going on in the world and the collective weight of the world weighing very heavily on us every day, it's really important that we get out there and we try to connect in some way and find, with people out there in any way that we can, you know what I mean? But yes, do it in a safe way. Connect with ourselves internally, find out what we want to do, take up a hobby, be creative, you know what I mean? And really kind of try to make the most of our time, because before all of this, we were just so go with everything. Everything was just so fast and so much happening. And then all of a sudden everything slowed down. And then things kind of speeded up a little again, and then they slowed down again. This is just the way that things are going right now. But it's not going to be forever. We miss the way that things were. But I think it's also a good thing that we're experiencing some of this stuff, because for a lot of people out there, some people needed that slowdown, because you have to kind of find the things that you love, the things that are important to you, and kind of really connect with those things again. So to everybody out there, if you're creative, build on that. If you want to start something new, start it. If you want to go out and fly a kite, go on a walk, you know what I mean? Paint, just like Justin here. And you're like, go on a walk like Tony. Go out and do that. go out and enjoy those things, because it's the little things at the end of the day that are really, really important. So thank you guys so much for sitting down and taking this time to do this interview. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to watch us have this conversation. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our Fiend YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one with Tony and Justin from Dance with the Dead. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys again very, very soon.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you
dude.
so much for having us, man.
Well, thank you guys for being on the show. And everybody out there, if you haven't checked out Dance with the Dead and all of their amazing music, be sure to go and check them out and all the amazing stuff that these guys put out, because they have really done some amazing work and they are going amazing places. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, dude.
Cheers.